A remarkable first day of this test series between Bangladesh and Australia. Mohammed Assam and Adam Collins with you here to go through it all. Mohammed Assam, 260 Bangladesh were all out for, and we thought this was going to be Australia's day, but 3 wickets before stumps, miraculous, ridiculous wickets at that. We have a game on our hands, don't we?
Yeah, Shakib Al Hasan just completed his press conference where he said that the target was around 250, which I think is a bit of a retrospective sort of thing to say, but I still feel that 300 would have been a great score. 260 still looks quite competitive in this wicket. I feel that this test match is not going to last for too long, so Australia coming in quite late and batting for about I think like an hour, it didn't really go well. They lost 3 wickets, and I feel that is going to boost Bangladesh's confidence like anything.
Yeah, let's go to the end of the day before going to the front. We had 3 Australian wickets. Like we said, David Warner, who's got constant struggles in Asia, averages less than 30 now in the continent. He was given out leg before from a sliding delivery from Mahedi, who bowled beautifully in his spell. Let's start there. The 19-year-old again is showing he's a match winner.
Yeah, he's quite accurate, and he doesn't really turn the ball too much. He during the England series last year, he showed how small sort of deviations that he creates with his fingers. It's fantastic. He uses the wicket, uses the length with the stumps very well, and I think David Warner survived one really bad sort of decision from the umpire, and then he pitched it up again, and that really worked for Mahedi, and he does that regularly.
And then a run out that had to be seen to be believed. Usman Khawaja patted away Shakib Al Hasan and decided to run, despite the fact that it almost certainly would have been retrospectively called a dead ball.
Yeah, I think it's a little bit in the sense that I think Usman Khawaja wanted to get off strike. I think that was the thinking at that point, because it was going a little crazy for Australia at that particular sort of over and that moment. I think the thinking was okay, but the ball wasn't going too far from him. So it was very, very strange how he just jumped out of the crease like that.
Yeah, good bit of fielding from Mushfiqur, who ran around from behind the stumps and executed a run out from silly point, weirdly, for a wicketkeeper. And then Nathan Lyon, the night watchman, who couldn't really be expected to do much in those circumstances. And it says a little bit about the track, isn't it, as well? We've seen 9 wickets fall to spin today. Comparisons being made to the Pune track where Australia played India in the first rubber of the Border Gavaskar Trophy Series. Do you think it's going to continue to turn massive as the test match goes on?
No, I think if there's rain tomorrow morning, then the wicket will be under cover and the breaking of the wicket will be slowed down slightly. If it's baking hot, it's going to start cracking up from around afternoon tomorrow. I feel that's how the Mirpur pitch has been for a very long time. Shakib, Taijul will come into play, Mustafiz will come into play. I think that's the big threat for Australia. I think when Mustafiz comes to bowl with his cutters, and he uses the pitch very well. So everyone keeps saying that if the wicket gets a bit of bite for the spinners, Mustafiz is the most dangerous bowler. I think David Warner and Stephen Smith would certainly know that. Glenn Maxwell obviously would also know that. So there are a few threats for Australia. This is going to be a great second day of play, if there is any play.
It wasn't the first time we saw rapid wickets fall at the start of an innings. This morning, Patrick Cummins took 3 wickets in the space of 8 balls, where Bangladesh slumped 10 for 3. He bowled some thunderbolts there, bringing together the 2 old-timers, not old-timers, but playing their 50th test match, been around for over a decade, Tamim and Shakib. They put on 155. They were magnificent.
But I must say that Pat Cummins really forced himself on the Bangladeshi batsman, and you don't really see that on Mirpur. Again, I'm going back to the background of what a Mirpur wicket is like. It certainly doesn't help any fast bowler. I think a lot of fast bowlers would say that they have bent their backs. Nothing came out of it, but Pat Cummins was just brilliant with his line. I think Josh Hazlewood doesn't get the rap for it, but he bowled very well too. I think he kept the batsman honest outside the off stump, and then Pat Cummins mixed up his lines splendidly. I think Bangladesh top order that doesn't have a lot of experience is not totally settled, except Tamim Iqbal. They really struggled, and then Tamim and Shakib did exactly what they have done all throughout their career, dug them out of a hole. It's the sort of thing that they have always wanted to do, that play a lot of regular test matches against top sides, just to do this, to attack a fast bowler when he's bowling at 140 kilometers per hour, go after a spinner quickly. You should have seen how they didn't just speak to each other, and Shakib said in the press conference they don't need to speak to each other because they know what they have to do.
It took a very long time to break up that partnership, but in the second session, Glenn Maxwell, the big show. We weren't meant to see him bowl, according to Steve Smith. The captain said that he'd barely be required because he had so much faith in his 2 frontline spinners, Nathan Lyon and Ashton Agar. We'll come back to them in a moment. But Glenn Maxwell got the breakthrough and then opened it up. The incision was made. The last 7 wickets fell for 92 runs, principally due to Nathan Lyon. He equalled Richie Benaud on 248. He overtook him with 249, and then he joined the 250 club. Nathan Lyon, what a star.
Absolutely, and you'll see a lot of Nathan Lyon in this test series. Nathan Lyon and if Ashton Agar gets to bowl a lot alongside him. It'll be interesting to see how Nathan Lyon responds to whatever Australia gives him as a cushion. I think he would certainly need a bit of cushion. Australia needs to take a bit of a lead for him to really come into his own. Otherwise, it might be he might have to run against the tide in this situation, because Bangladesh will definitely go for a slightly bigger lead. And on his own, it'll be difficult for him. But I feel that if Ashton Agar too comes into the play, and as you said, Glenn Maxwell. So Bangladesh has a problem with part-timers. They lose a bit of concentration, which I think happened when Glenn Maxwell came to bowl, because they had handled Nathan Lyon quite well, and Ashton Agar as well. But then when Maxwell came in, I think they thought that they may go after a few.
Yeah, Lyon made the ball turn prodigiously from the get-go. It wasn't necessarily the case with Ashton Agar, his first test match for over 4 years. It took quite a while to find his line of length. Only bowled 3 overs up until the tea break, but Steve Smith threw in the ball after that last interval. He took 3 wickets. That's the most he's ever taken in a test match innings before, and he looked considerably better once he got into his groove.
Yeah, left-arm spinners are obviously going to be helped here, because I think he got to bowl a lot more, as you said, after tea, and when the wicket started to break, he got a little bit of kick out of the wicket as well. And as Dan Levin said, his lengths have been good in the last 4 years, although he didn't play any test matches. But I think if you have your lengths right in Bangladesh, and if you can bowl right at the stumps, there's going to be a high chance of you getting a lot of LBW decisions, a lot of back pads, and a lot of these, you can get a lot of wickets.
So the state of play is that Australia are astonishingly 18 for 3, a collapse in the last 9 overs here at Dhaka before stumps on day 1. They trail by 242 runs after knocking over Bangladesh for 260 in the 3rd session. Adam Collins, Mohammad Assam, we've seen a marvellous day of Test cricket to start this series. Let's hope for more like it tomorrow.